Hello, everyone. Today we're going to look at the Electoral College system used in the United States to elect the president. The Electoral College system has been a contentious subject for many years with various problems identified by critics. We will explore some of these problems and potential solutions to them in our documentary.
First, let's briefly explain how Electoral College works. Each state has a certain number of electors, a total of 538. A candidate needs a majority of 270 to win the presidential election. Now, let's explore some of the problems with this type of system.
All right, so the first problem is the discrepancy between the popular vote and the electoral vote. In several elections, the candidates who won the popular vote did not end up winning the presidency. This happened in elections of 1824, 1888, 2000, and 2016. Many argue this undermines the democratic principles of one person, one vote.
In the Electoral College, the influence of a state depends on its population. In the national popular vote, the influence of a state depends on how many people turn out to vote. And those Southern whites benefited from it, and they basically kept the idea of a national popular vote off the table.
Solution number one, the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. The agreement between the states pledges that they will cast their electoral vote for the candidate who wins the national popular vote, regardless of the state result. If states totaling 270 electoral votes join the compact, it effectively ensures the president is elected by popular vote without requiring a constitutional amendment.
It's in brief, it's a compact that a state can join the compact saying that it will cast all of its electoral votes for the candidate who wins the national popular vote.
All right, another problem we have with the Electoral College is the overinfluence of swing states. Due to the nature of several states being decided before the campaign even starts, this gives a disproportionate amount of influence to swing states that may not be decided, where a majority of the presidential candidate's time will be spent.
There are about 9 states that are swing states right now. And this is where I think the dynamic of this election lies. Mitt Romney has to win all 9 of them to get to 273. He's behind in 7, including Iowa. So they're fighting in this very small set of battling around states because they will be the ones who decide the election.
Problem number 3 about the Electoral College is that there's faithless electors. Even if you vote for your region of the state and it wins Republican vote, the electors doesn't have to necessarily vote Republican. They can vote Democrat if they want, or any other political party that they choose so. And that's a very big problem because your vote doesn't matter in that portion. I mean, they're voting against your wishes, and that's just not democratic.
And he announced this about a month ago, saying that he had qualms about President Bush, he had qualms about the war in Iraq, and he's not sure that he's going to be able to support President Bush when it comes time to vote in the Electoral College. He has said West Virginia has had a faithless elector in the past, back in 1988, when one of the Dukakis electors decided to cast a vote for Lloyd Bentsen. And that apparently is what's going to happen with this gentleman here, Richie Robb. He said he's not going to cast his vote for John Kerry. That's one thing he made clear, but he may cast his vote for Vice President Cheney or for somebody else. But the importance there is that it does take one away from President Bush.
So another solution that we could have is eliminating faithless electors. We could implement laws or constitutional amendments to ensure that the electors are legally bound to vote for the candidate they pledged to support. And that would enhance the integrity of the Electoral College system, and then that would ensure that voters' choice are honored.
Historically and over time, the issue of faithless electors has not been very significant. They've never determined the outcome of an election and never really come close. Interesting, going back to our theme about race in the South, the second half, from the 1940s on, faithless electors regained a kind of prominence because there were a lot of Southern faithless electors who did not want to vote for the candidate of the Democratic Party, even though they themselves were Democrats.
Right.
I don't think it's a big issue.
Problem number 5 is that the complexity of the Electoral College system can lead to confusion and misunderstanding in the public, the indirect nature of electing the president can seem convoluted compared to a straightforward popular vote.
Do you think the Electoral College is confusing for the general population?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
Given away the most important point already, that some people think of the Electoral College as one big place where all the electors show up together and vote. But the Constitution lays out that, again, the states are very important institutions in this system, and the electors go to their state capitals, basically. They meet as 51 separate groups, the District of Columbia and the 50 states.
In conclusion, the Electoral College has several notable problems, but there are also multiple solutions to these problems. Whether through interstate compacts, proportional allocation, binding electors, or amending the Constitution. Each solution aims to make presidential elections more democratic and reflective of the popular will.